Welcome to the We Build Champions for Life channel, boy. Get your mind right. We're about to talk to a guy that joined the National Guard at 17, straight out of high school, passed on college, went enlisted, fought his way all the way up to second lieutenant, and then had a big snafu. Had a snafu that cost him his job. So I hope you enjoy this video. As always, man, smash the subscribe button, share it with your boys and girls, and sit back, get some popcorn, because this is a good one, folks. Enjoy. Yep.
For me, from what I saw from my teachers, I was like, hey, I want to be, I want to be enlisted first and get that experience and then become an officer, because I was basically taught by them that, people who go through like OCS, officer candidate school, like those are the best types of officers. It's just kind of like the culture that they had behind there. So that, I just kind of kept that mindset and decided to do that.
Okay, haven't been in as long as you've been in. What do you think now?
It's mixed. I mean, so when I went through this past summer, I went to infantry basic officer leadership course, and, I'm seeing these 22-year-old, cats that, they're straight out of college, haven't done anything in the Army, but they're super motivated, and they're quick learners. They're learning how to be freaking officers, how to lead troops. Do they know all the ins and outs of the military? No, not necessarily.
Yeah.
But I think they have the essentials behind them to do a good job. And to be honest, I think, so I was an E6, promotable to E7 when I commissioned.
Okay.
And so for me, getting out of that NCO mindset, non-commissioned officer mindset, and this is pretty new, it is a challenge to me. I have to make sure that I'm, letting my NCOs do their business and not, micromanage, So
how long was the military? How long did it take you to make E6?
I was probably at 9 years, I want to say, when I made E6.
Okay.
So I've been in for 12.
Okay.
Actually, so it's probably even earlier than that. I think I was probably maybe at 7 years. 7 years or so when I made E6, yeah.
And then when did you commission?
So I commissioned in 2021, April.
Okay,
so
about a year ago.
Yep.
And then, okay, so let's back up a little bit. Where'd you go to college at?
When I got out of high school, I was already doing college classes, so at the community college. And basically right after high school, I'd do my advanced individual training over the summer.
Yeah.
I've already gone to boot camp. And then I was going to go to the New Mexico Military Institute for the college, which is like a 2-year college. Get commission. I decided not to do that because I wanted to go on a deployment. And so I went to Egypt for a year with an infantry unit.
Okay. And
so while I was out there, though, I went to school online at Ashford University.
Okay.
And so I started doing, I was doing a degree in English. I wanted to be an English teacher back then. And I don't know, I don't think I was thinking about money at all back then, and so I didn't realize that, to teach college, you need, a PhD or something like that,
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't even think about that really. So I was doing this English degree while I was out there. There was times where I had to drop classes just because op tempo was too high, so I was on a QRF team out there. So yeah, I was out there for that. Let's see. Yeah, so I just did online classes, came back, went to UNM, so University of New Mexico.
Okay.
Started doing ROTC, and I didn't care for it too much. But what's worse is
just going to school, taking classes, a lot like middle school, early high school. You was like going to ROTC, listen to little shithead like seniors and juniors shit on you, and you're like, yo, bro, I got deployment. Like, that shit don't work.
I don't know. Yeah, I think, there might have been a little bit of an ego there. I mean, yeah, you're getting told by the seniors to, hey man, like we're gonna do a security halt, but then they're like, do a sector sketch. I'm like, I'm not doing a sector sketch, a short halt, like.
Yeah.
But just, I couldn't play. I had a hard time playing the game is what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And still do, I think, in some ways. Sometimes I can do it for a while, but yeah, I had a hard time playing the game. So, I stayed with the Guard. And so I ended up getting, I told myself, I was like, either I'm going to join the French Foreign Legion or I need to find, an army job or something, and, and so, yeah, I found a job called, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. And probably a lot of the audience probably hasn't. So I joined this team called the Weapons of Mass Destruction Civil Support Team. So that was pretty cool because I had never heard of it. I didn't know anything about it. And, basically I just told from the people that didn't know anything about it either, they're like, oh, they're like a bunch of scientists, and so joined that as a E5 sergeant. And so that was pretty cool because so that job, we travel a lot. I traveled like 250 days out of the year around the United States, and a lot of that was a lot of training. So it's like about 2 or 3 years of training, different courses that you're going to, not really consecutive, but just whenever you can get them scheduled.
Yep.
So basically what a civil support team is that every state has a 22-man response team for CBRN. So that's chemical, biological, nuclear, radiological. And it's a response team that essentially bridges the gap between the federal and state response to a WMD incident. That can either be nefarious or like terrorist, or it can be like accidental release.
Yep.
But yeah, basically, so local population doesn't necessarily have all the full capabilities to handle it. So we can step in to bridge the time gap that it would take for like a federal response to occur. So they might take, days to get spun up where we're in the state, close by. And so, yeah, learned a lot from that. Ended up doing a dual master's degree in Homeland Security and Emergency Management. And just kind of fit the role of that job as well. So, yeah.
So then you got your commission out of there. What'd you commission into?
So yeah, so I did OCS. I was 18 months long. So you do like drill weekends when you're doing that.
Oh, for OCS in the Guard, it's just drill weekends.
Yeah. So they could send me. So I wanted to go to the accelerated program, which is only, I think, 8 weeks long. So they have 3 different types of programs. You have the state program, which not every state has. And then you have a traditional program, which is 12 weeks long. And that's in Fort Benning, Georgia. And then you have accelerated, which is in Alabama. And I think maybe other places hold it, but I'm pretty sure Alabama is the only one. But they do 8 weeks.
Okay.
And so mine was 18 months long, but you do like a 2-week training. And then you have drills. So like 1 week in a month. And then you have another 2 weeks. And with that program, it's not just on the weekend. Like you're constantly working on stuff the entire month, every month. Like you're always working on stuff.
Bro, let me ask you this. Why did you go for the pain program? This sound like how you got your college degree again, Steve. Like what were you thinking that you like, bro, I'd have been like, y'all, I'm going to this. What do I got to do to go to this 8-week course? Okay.
That hit me pretty hard. I was actually I was pretty mad about that. My commander didn't want me to go. And the real reason is because they knew the faster I commissioned, the faster they were going to lose me off the team. And there was just really nothing I can do about it. It was just, and also too, on the political side is that, the state loves their program.
Yeah.
And so they want people to go, you know what I mean? So, and especially because of the dropout rate for those programs is 50%. So, you start with 12 people and we graduated with 6,
Yeah, because you talking about biochemical, nuclear, WMDs, all of that involves math and science.
Well, so I didn't even do that for OCS. So like, so OCS.
Oh, you're saying OCS the failure rate is 50% on this 18-month course.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I know that. Anything that's 18 months long, it got a failure rate of 50%.
Yeah, and it's not like people can't just quit like when they're doing the training. It's just because of the longevity and like
something comes up, they have a kid, they can't make 2 months, they can't get sick. Yeah, bro. That's I'm gonna tell you right now. I would have figured out a way to get there. I would have snuck away for 2 months and went to the little 8-week course and came back. Okay,
and I was a cheap date because I was already full time at the time. So full time, But
you got your commission.
Yeah. So I did OCS. I had to save up money though. I was trying to find a job as a full-time guard guy because I didn't have a job when I was going to commission. I wasn't going to have a job. So I was taking a big leap of faith to do that. to, commission as an officer, but I'm an AGR. I don't have a job lined up for me when I commission. And so I just saved up money after I commissioned. Or after I graduated OCS, I saved up money for like 8 months, and then commissioned once I was like, all right, I'm good. So like I lined it up to where I had 80 days of leave, and then I like commissioned, and then 2 weeks later went to IBOLC
Okay.
for 4.5 months, just so I didn't have a huge gap.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so
So banged out IBOLC. I just had a dude graduate from IBOLC like maybe 4 months ago.
About a little bit, a couple classes after me. Yeah.
Okay, and so then where'd you go from IBOLC?
So during IBOLC, I found a job at Los Alamos National Labs doing hazmat work that I was used to doing.
Okay.
Super fortunate that I was able to do that. And so got out of IBOLC in September, got a platoon, and then a month later after that, so we had a slot open up, like my commander wasn't going to Ranger school, so they wanted me to go to RTAC, which is Ranger Training Assessment course, which is essentially a pre-Ranger course to get people ready for Ranger school. And actually all National Guardsmen have to go to that course before going to Ranger school, so it's not even an option.
Here's the big question. I already know the outcome of the school. How much prep work did you do physically?
Yeah, so at IBOLC, probably not. And most people at IBOLC that I talked to, you're prepped for Ranger school, but you're not prepped for RAP week. Yeah, I was in weapons squad like all through IBOLC, like on purpose. Like I just wanted to do that. Like you're carrying 140 pounds, 120, 140 pounds all week long. You're eating, an MRE you're eating probably 2 MREs a day, but you're sleeping, through the week. Like some weeks they're giving you maybe 2 hours of sleep a night. Like they literally like put us to bed at 12, and they're like waking us up at 2, to just continue on for another. They make IBOLC like Ranger school,
okay,
like the field ops. The only thing that's different, I would say, is that the evaluation portion of the IBOLC is not as strict as Ranger school.
Yeah.
Because they need to pass people. So it sucks as bad, but it's not, the evaluated part of it is not the same.
Okay.
So going back to physical preparation, definitely wasn't prepared for RAP week, going into when I was slotted for it.
How much running were you doing a week? Like how many miles a week were you doing?
Running, so I wasn't too concerned about running, but I was doing that probably. I was doing 5-mile runs, 3 to 5 mile runs, probably 2 to 3 times a week.
And what was your 5-mile time?
Yeah, like right at the cusp. So you have to get it in 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was at like 38.
That's solid. 38 give you 2 minutes of leeway. 2 minutes. That's not bad.
Yeah, I wasn't. So it's weird because the running portion, I was never really faster. So I broke my leg back in 2016. I have 5 screws in my lower tibia.
Okay.
And I just don't run the same that I used to. Like, sure, maybe an excuse, I don't know, but yeah, my mobility is not there because it was right at my ankle. So like my mobility is just off. Like people even tell me I look like I'm galloping when I run. Like
Gotcha.
What I was worried about definitely was push-ups. Because that's, everybody's worried about push-ups. I was getting, like, I would have my wife like test me and make sure it's like, hey, like if they don't look perfect, like you don't count them, and I would get like 45 every single time, but not the 49 that I needed. I was like, well, like, I'm just gonna have to go. But there was a lot of things going on prior to going that I was ignoring. I was ignoring my family. My wife could definitely notice. I was ignoring just a lot of responsibilities that I had to go, and I was like trying to pretend like, well, I'll just be what the Army needs me to be, and I'll just ignore everything else, and, just try to just kind of get through this, training that I need to go do,
And I talk about that a lot, Steve. I try to explain to people, man, like they don't understand what it's like to have to go do some of that training and be sitting on your couch cuddling with your 4-year-old and be like, man, I got to go run, man, and get up in the middle of a movie and go run, right? Like because they don't understand the consequences of failure, right? And like
Yeah.
that's the part that's really hard. Like I try to explain to them, like, you're talking about you weren't there. You were in the house, they saw you, but you weren't mentally checked into the family. You was trying to get ready to go to this pre-screener for Ranger School.
Yeah.
And it just sucks the life out of you. And then, you know, like that's why the divorce rate's so high.
Oh yeah. Like, you know, even before, like back when I was on the CST, like, you know, I met my wife while I was on the CST, and traveling the much as I did, like, you know, 250 some days out of the year, like on average, like I was gone, like I'd be gone like a month. I'd be in New Jersey hanging out for a month, just like there during some conventions that were going on, and I'm just there for the whole month doing nothing. You know?
Yep.
But yeah, like, you know, so I tried to what I tried to do was, you know, get up at 4 a.m. Before work. So I have an hour drive to work, and so like I had to be there at like 7. So I'm getting up at like 4 a.m. to do the workouts, do what I do, and then go work this whole day. And then sometimes I'd come back at night and like, I'm gonna go get a ruck in. And so then I'm going and rucking 10 miles right after work, you know, and doing like crap like that. But it wasn't very consistent because, you know, I was exhausted, but also too, like, you know, yeah, the family's like, they notice.
How old were you when this was going on?
This was just this is recent. So RTAC was literally just I got back a couple weeks ago.
Okay, so how old are you right now?
So I'm 29.
Okay, so you're not crazy old, but old enough to where that shit
So
ain't.
yeah, so I mean, like I've been in for 12 years, you know, I did infantry. So I don't know, yeah, we didn't even go over that. I gathered 4 MOSs from the Army while I've been in. Spent, yeah, enlisted. I did like 6 years infantry. Yeah, you know, people say, oh yeah, you were guard, but I was always training for that stuff. You know what I mean? Like I made sure like I was, you know, top shape for the infantry back when I was enlisted.
You didn't have one of them guard bellies? One of them dudes show up in the size 60 blouse with their stomach that has to cast a shadow in front of them?
Yeah, no. So like when I was in my prime in the infantry, I was running, you know, 1250s for the 2 miles, you know, not super fast. I think 1220s maybe sometimes.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I would do like 100-mile century races for road cycling, you know, super lean. But yeah, like, you know, it was crazy the other day. So I came back from RTAC and I had to go to drill right after that. So I went to drill, came back.
So let's go back to RTAC. What happened at RTAC? Like, so did you bang out on the push-ups?
No, so RTAC, it's kind of interesting. So it's a assessment course, but you know, they give you the first 2 days, I think they give you a test, but it's not the real test. So they give you like a you know, the RPFT or whatever, RPA, but it's not the official one. So they give you another time unless you fail the run. So basically you get a second time to do it if you fail push-ups or sit-ups or pull-ups.
Okay.
But if you fail the run, they're like, yeah, you're not going to make it in a week, you know? Yeah, I did 45 push-ups the first time. And they said, yeah, you could have probably made it. Because like I didn't have any not counting. Yeah, you hear these stories, guys, I did 80 push-ups. And you know, only counted 30 of them or some shit. But no, like every single one of my count, I do them so perfectly, but I was like too slow. You know what I mean? So like I wasn't even at muscle failure. I get to the time before I was at muscle failure. So it was taking
Gotcha.
Yeah, just not pacing it right, I don't think. You know, so I wasn't too concerned about that. But even before that, spent $3,000 on packing list stuff to be out there. Quite, you know, pretty expensive. I think a lot of people, I hate when they tell soldiers like, hey, you're going in a week. It's like, fuck you. Like they can't get that packing list in a week, you know? So yeah, a lot of training for that. When I got there, you know, all the stuff that I was ignoring, I was buying a house. My wife is pregnant. This is our 5th child.
5th?
Yeah.
Brother.
Yeah. And so, yeah, like going there and I'm like, man, like what the fuck am I doing? I've been doing, and so like I started the mental games, man, like, and it's not even like the training is hard. It's just that I don't have a reason to be there. It's almost like, man, I thought I could just pretend like I'll just go through the motions, be an avatar and just be like, hey, I'll just go and do this thing. I've done plenty of shit that smoked me. Like it doesn't, like none of that matters. But it was so hard to put all that like aside and just kind of like, you know, go through the motions of it. Cause like mentally I was checked out. I didn't want to be there at all. So I was like,
you have 4 kids, bro. You got 4 kids and a wife at home, man.
Yeah.
Like I try to explain to people, bro, like it's a young man's game, man. Like you need to go do all that crazy shit when you under 25, right?
Yeah.
Like because that shit you don't care when you 25. You ain't got no kids, you ain't got no wife, you ain't got no house. Your responsibility is to pay the bills at your crib, you know, like water and gas. Like I remember I went on deployment for 6 months. I just put $1,500 on both bills and walked out the door, locked the door, and walked out the door for 6 months. Came back, the house was fine, right? Like my neighbors on the right were in the Navy, the neighbors on the left were the Marine Corps. They checked on the house. They said nothing happened. They cut the grass for me. It was a wrap, right? Mm-hmm. But fast forward, you get married, you know, and now, like, I got 3 kids, man. We moved to San Antonio this August, man. It was awful. Like, I don't want to move them no more. You know, like all that stuff that comes in when you got them kids attached and that wife, you know, like we got out of coaching. We got out of coaching because I didn't ever see my kids.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not raising your kids when I ain't raising my kids. Like I ain't doing that.
Yeah, man. Like you, and so like, when I came back from drill, so I, left RTAC.
Hang on. So we got to the point where you quit.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay. So you at you there and then you just not there. You got an avatar. So what happened?
Yeah. So, we're doing land nav, so I go through land nav. So we have 2 days of land nav. I think it was 2 days. And the first day, basically they tell you have to pass every single day of land nav. But so the first day I go through and I just fail it. Half the course fails land nav. Like 50% of people drop out with land nav. Okay. You get tomorrow to do it again. I was like, man, yeah, I guess I just have to wait another day and fail land nav. And so, but I was like, look, like I need to be honest with myself. I don't want to fucking be here. I'm wasting my time. Like I wasted my family's time. Like all those times where I neglected them. Yeah. You know what I mean? I just wasted all this time pretending that I wanted to be here or that I was going to go through it. And then I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm not going to lie to myself. And so I LOM'd. I quit. And
what's LOM?
So that's their way of like, basically if you leave or quit, it's lack of motivation.
Okay, ours is DOR.
Drop on
I don't know
request.
what DOR stands for, but something.
Yeah, it's like drop on request, something.
Yeah, drop on request. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so you LOR'd, and then so talk to me just emotionally. You was done already. You grown ass man now. You got 5 kids. Like you. I try to explain to people. Like when you get past that baby phase of like 25, no kids, no wife, you quit for other reasons. But when you get on the other side of that, then you know why you going home. You like, yo, I'm done with this. You like your propensity for bullshit is zero when you have a whole family to take care of at home. At least that's how I feel, right? Like,
yeah.
Like if I'm somewhere, like when I was on a TV show, they were full of shit. I'm like, you know what? I got a wife at home. I'm fucking out. I just walked off the show, right?
So our first day of RTAC, I think it was the first or second day. It was probably second day, but they like smoked us and they're like, we're not stopping the smoke session until 3 people quit. And well, that's just fucked up to do. But so they're just, kept going. We're just doing burpees, you know what I mean? Burpees and push-ups, Y squats.
Yeah.
And I'm fine. I'm chilling. I'm just like, but I'm like, man, these guys, like, I didn't want to be there at that point. Fuck you. I'm not quitting when you want me to quit. Like, I'll quit on my own accord. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing it right now. It's just a fucking smoke session. Like, I've been getting smoked since I was a fucking teenager. Yeah, like, it just, when it happened emotionally, I was upset. I definitely was upset, but nobody understood. So, like, when I told them I was going to quit, they're like, what rank are you? Because, RTAC, Ranger School, they don't have a rank. I'm like, what rank are you? I'm like, 2nd lieutenant. And so they're like, what branch? And I'm like, infantry. And they're like, sir, you cannot quit. Like, you can't do this. Like, you will ruin your career, which is pretty true on the active duty side. It's not the end of everything, but it definitely makes you competitive. Only 7% of people in the military have a Ranger tab. And you're expected to have one as an infantry platoon leader. But that's not my goal. Like, that hasn't been my goal, be in the infantry. I'm just trying to get back onto the CST, actually. But I just have to play a waiting game.
Gotcha.
And
you needed a job where they were going to put you out, right? Like, you had to have a job.
Right. Yeah. I needed to
Yeah,
brand something. And there is
yeah,
no like, yeah. So it's like, well, there's infantry. Okay. Well, I used to do that. So guess I'm just going to go back and do that for a while.
yeah.
And it's a great way to stay in shape too. But yeah. So emotionally, yeah. So, I quit and had to basically convince them to let me go. And they're all right, you can go. And just gave me my bags back and then just drove back to New Mexico from Benning. And
So what was that? What was that drive like?
it sucked because I just did it, but physically. But I family's blowing me up, and I just talked to friends. So I have a couple military buddies, I can confide with, and told them what I did, and they're like, "Look, man, like, it just is what it is, and you're just, you're making the decisions you got to make, and
Yeah.
and there was people telling me not to go anyway beforehand because my wife being pregnant and the kids and new job that I just started and all that. It was hard, but I was glad that I was able to like vent it all out, on the way back. And had to talk to my commander. And so when I came back and I had to, yeah, that was kind of rough. Because I got fired. So it is what it is. But
So when you got back to the command, they took your platoon from you,
yeah,
relieved you of
yeah,
command, put you in ops or something like that.
yeah, yeah,
So but it's hard to lead savages if you just checked out, right? Like that's the facts of life, right? Like it's
yeah.
funny. There's
No,
consequences to doing what you did, right?
oh, absolutely, yeah.
So
It's one of those things where I told in my mind I was like, if I would have stayed one more day and just failed land nav, I wouldn't have been having that conversation with anybody. I wouldn't have been kicked out of my platoon or anything like that.
you think so? If you had failed land nav, they wouldn't have kicked you out?
No, because I mean, so active duty side, like having a ranger tab in the infantry, like that's pretty like, I mean, it's definitely something you need. On the guard side though, like, and it depends on the state. But if your state doesn't have a big culture in the infantry to have a ranger tab, it's not a big deal. You know
And
what I
you're
mean? Like,
still in New Mexico?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Like no one there is very few. I would say maybe like maybe 3 or 4 like officers in the guard that like in our state that have a ranger tab.
Gotcha.
And so they don't do any sort of like train up. It's just kind of like it's all on your own. It's everything you do for that is on your own. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's the same way everywhere else, but you know it's probably like that for SEALs. Like I imagine that there's no one there coaching you to go. It's probably just pretty grown.
So things have changed a little bit. Like they got some programs and stuff like that. But like if you coming from the fleet, brother, like they dump you into prep. You may just came off a deployment, have not ran in 6 months, and you just get your heads beat in, right? Like that's why. Like I think the SEAL program is the same as when I went through. It's just the level of preparation that you need to go there to be successful is astronomical.
Yeah.
Unless you somebody like, I'm just dumb, right? Like I'm just really hard and dumb. And I showed up out of shape, and then I ran at nights. I ran on Saturdays. I got lucky. I had 2 months when I got there before class started, and I was able to get in shape in those 2 months,
Hmm. Yeah.
But like if I had got there and went right into class, there's no way I would have graduated, because I
Hmm.
got there and ran a 38-minute 4 mile, was my first 4 mile, and you got to run
Hmm.
32. So, but like I also was able to go to workouts all day and be, in buds, and then go run at night. I had a high recovery rate. It just some factors in there, but like for the most part, like you come off the fleet or wherever, same kind of thing you're talking about, right? No guidance. People know what they're getting into now, but I tell everybody, like, till you experience the first 3 or 4 days of buds, like I don't care what kind of books you read. I don't care if you stood out there and watched everybody do it. Like you
Yeah.
you you can't, like it's Mike Tyson shit, bro. Everybody thinks they're gonna win the fight till I punch him in the face. And that's, and that's how Buds is.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, and I would say, like, and I guess this kind of sparked, the reason I wanted to talk to you too is like, I think there was a couple discussions you had with some other persons from like the army maybe, or I think there was like one guy that was the SEAL, and the whole dynamic of going to college first and figuring out what you want to do, and that stuff is super important. I don't know, the whole like going enlisted first, is it necessary? No, I don't think so. I think that's something that people can definitely bypass. Because I've jumped through a lot of hoops, like to be where I am today. Like,
absolutely. They don't get it, man. They don't understand like how hard it is to go from an enlisted E-Dog, E6 to officers. How many hoops you had to jump through. How many great fit reps you had to get. How many people had to sign off, like I got a dude in San Diego right now that his command will not sign off on him going to fly in the Navy. Like he got the scores he needs. He's an E5. He played football in college, and they won't sign the command recommendation for him to go.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, like I try to tell you that when you enlisted in the Navy.
Yep.
And like, so I got another year before his enlistment's up, and then he's gonna put his flight package in. He'll get picked up. He got a really high flight aptitude test. He had good grades, 3.0 in college football player. He'll be fine. But they don't understand how many hoops you got to jump through to get there,
Yeah, especially if you go like the backwards routes, and like, guys that join the Guard that think that they can get active duty, there's AGR jobs, like you can be an AGR, but there isn't like that many. It's competitive as hell. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like so my position that I got at, like when I first got on AGR with the CST, I boarded against, I think, 12 people, and that's rough, like you don't know any of their backgrounds. They could be, the perfect person for the job,
Yeah.
And the politicking that you got to do for that kind of stuff too, but yeah, like, they, I would just really say, like, people, especially, young guys that, want to join. It's like, you can always go National Guard afterwards. Like, if you really already have a career, I guess, set up, like, like a career path that's like outside of the military, but you still want to go into Guard, sure. But if you're like trying to go Guard and like, oh, I'll go Guard and then I can go active, like that's a rough route, like it's not very easy. And then too, like, oh, go maybe go to the Guard and have them pay for school and then become an officer, like that's rough too, like these are long routes to when you could just get good grades in high school, get a scholarship, and then be a lieutenant at 22, because and that's why, man, these kids, like, failing classes, fucking off, doing whatever. It's like, and then trying to do this stuff later on, it's like it's rough, like it's a lot of work, and because I've been trying to become an officer.
A lot of commitment, a lot of time.
Yeah, I started OCS in 2018 in hopes to be back on the CST as an officer, and it's 2022. You know what I mean? And like
4 years.
Yeah.
4 years. Like, that's what they don't understand. I try to explain it to them, man. I'm like, look, man, like, I just got an email today, man. I'm gonna drop out of college. I got 1 semester left. I say, hey, man, listen, don't email me the dumbest shit in the world. Like, what are you talking? Like, bro, you got 1 semester left. Like, and he wanted to be an Army Ranger, right? I said, hey, there's no chance you could be an Army Ranger if you got to drop out of college with 1 semester left. That's what I told him. Like, there's no chance you'll be an Army Ranger. None. Zero.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to quit, like, the last step of college, there's no way you're going to make it, So, and all right, dude, what else you got? Anything else you want to talk about, bro? Like,
I think that's it. I mean, I don't know, like, the quitting part too is like, that's what scares me too, is because, like, I feel like, so I dropped out of a doctorate program a while back, and and then I've done this. And it's like, you know, for me mentally, it's like, I don't know if you've ever like heard of people like where they'll quit something and then it kind of becomes easier to quit.
Absolutely.
And it's almost like I don't want to use, like, for me it's like I don't want to use my family as an excuse of, I feel bad, I guess, using my family as an excuse of why I quit.
Do you want to stay married?
Well, absolutely, yeah.
Okay. You like you raising your kids?
Yes.
Then you better be perfectly acceptable. Here's what I would tell you. The advice I would give you: make better decisions for your family before you go do dumb shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like think about the family, the wife, before you sign up to go to Ranger School for 3 months. You know, like
Yeah.
that's kind of that bigger picture thing that you can't go live that life right now. Right.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm gonna say, man. So when I went to Jay Robinson Intensive Training Wrestling Camp in Minnesota my junior senior year, they had this massive herpes outbreaks, herpes gladiatorium, right? And so I had made it through like 16 days of the 28 days. And then I got herpes on the back of my neck, and we went and played softball every day. Like we were just fucking off. It was like 300 of us had herpes and we couldn't wrestle no more. So we'd run and work out, but we couldn't wrestle. So during wrestling, we just fucked off, right? So that was 88, that was 89, summer 89. So when I was checking into buds, I had that failure on my mind, right? Like I couldn't make it through Jay Robinson 28 day, right? Like now I ain't have nothing to do with making it through, right? Like I got herpes, but like in the back of my head, I remember this. I was like, man, like last time I faced some massive adversity, like, oh man, I had a lot of adversity in college wrestling and football, but I didn't equate it to Jay Robinson 28 day, but I equated buds to it, right? Like I tied them together. And I remember like I drove from Virginia Beach out there, and it was on my mind driving out there. And then the first day, like everything started, like, you know, you get out there, shit's real, you checking in your whites, it's fucking. And then the next time I thought about it was when I was checking in the SEAL team. Like, so that was October of 97. And I checked in the SEAL team like October of 98, after September of 98, after jump school. And it was maybe a couple months after that, I was out in the woods, and I was like, oh shit, damn, you know, because I was thinking about like, man, Jay Robinson and all that craziness, and I had tied it to buds, but like once I got started, I never thought about it again, right? It never even crossed my mind. So, you know, I tell everybody, like, look at the reasons why you quit, and then, you know, if you're gonna go do some shit and you know it's gonna be half-assed, like I just don't do it no more. You know, like if I don't want to go talk to a certain group of people, like public speaking, I just don't do it. I'm like, no, I'm good. You know, I had a guy hit me up the other day. He wanted coaching, life coaching, right? I said, look, that ain't really what I want to do. I don't like old people. I like young people, right? You listen, okay? And so he's like, well, I'll pay you. And I'm like, you can't pay me. Like, he's like, well, all right. I was like, $4,500 for an hour. He's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, that's what the rate is. That's what I charge for public speaking, like whatever I'm gonna do. Like, so if you want to talk to me for 30 minutes, it's $2,500. And he's like, well, I think that's outlandish. I said, well, I don't want to talk to you anyway. Right? Yeah. Now, and here's the real deal. If he had given me $2,500, I still wouldn't have talked to him. Because I told him to go see my dude Ben Pappas, that's all he does is coach people, right? And so I've just at 50 now, like I don't go do shit I don't want to do. Period.
Yeah, you know, that's a good message, because like, you know, especially, you know, man, like it's been my entire life, like since military school. Like, you know, in military school they implanted in you, like, you know, they say, hey, give me a volunteer, and if everybody doesn't raise up your hand, like you're fucking wrong, you know, like it's like volunteerism and like civic duty, like those types of things like were like implanted in me so strongly that like, you know, in the military, even like I volunteer for everything, you know, and like if I get asked to do something, I'm doing like everything I can for that, you know. And yeah, like you have to have a little bit of discernment when you get older, like, hey, like let the young guys volunteer. Like there's a time to step back and say, hey, let somebody else win some fucking, you know, accolades, you know.
And you got and here's the thing I'll tell people, man. Dog, you got 5 kids in a. Is your 5th kid born yet?
No,
You
wife's
got, you got
15 weeks pregnant.
4 kids and another round coming down range, right?
Yeah.
Like, bro, if you don't step back and consider them and every decision you make now, you're gonna be one of them dudes that gets divorced and have 5 kids, right? And some other E8's gonna be raising your kids.
Yeah.
Straight up, right? You know the deal, man. And that's the thing that people don't do, right? Like as much as I love coaching, I love it, man. But like I wasn't in a position where financially it was so successful that I could just involve my kids in everything I did, right? I wasn't that successful. I couldn't get to the head coaching ranks. You know, I had a couple opportunities for AD jobs. I didn't get them, okay? Mm-hmm. Well, now I'm doing this thing I'm doing, and I'm like got all sorts of financial windfalls, right? But I'm home every day at like 3:30. If I don't want to go to work, I don't go to work, right? Like my team is running shit now. That's a different lifestyle for my 3 kids, right? My middle kid said, "Damn, Dad, we see you at home a lot now. Your new job is good. We see you a lot, right?" I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, you know. And even if you're just in the house with them, they know, you know.
Oh yeah.
So just, you gotta be cognizant of that. You're gonna end up like everybody else, divorced,
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. So yeah, it's just, for me, yeah, it's just a big taking a step back and saying like, look, like I talked to my wife and we had a lot of long conversations when I was coming back, and it's like, look, like we need to like de-stress shit, like we need to stop, like me personally, stop taking on extra shit to do, like
yeah, absolutely, bro.
I published twice back when I was in school. I was doing that kind of extra stuff. At one point I had 4 different jobs while I was on active duty. I was doing other jobs too, like, and so, there's just like that hyper, like, vigilant mindset, it's not, it's like, hey, you gotta fucking focus on the family, and
that shit ain't healthy sometimes, bro. You gotta make sure you take a wrap off and take care of the people that are taking care of you,
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna tell you this, and you know this, you got 4 kids. Shit, them 9 months after that kid's born, you got straight bedlam with your wife's emotions and her hormones, and you got all that crazy shit going on, and you out there trying to be damn, G.I. Joe. And one day she just has enough, and she's like, "Fuck you, I'm out." And then you trying to fight to keep her and all that. Like the people I've seen get divorced after a bunch of kids, it's like a straw that breaks the camel's back, and there ain't no fixing the camel's back after that. Like it just one day the shit implodes, and she check into the loony bin for 4 months, and she gets out. She's like, "I'm never talking to you again." You're like, God damn. So cherish that shit, brother. Cherish them kids, man.
Absolutely. Cool. Well, I appreciate the talk. Hopefully, somebody gets something out of what we talked about. But it was definitely interesting talking to you. So
awesome, Steve. Hey, I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, take it easy.
All right, talk to you later, boy. That was a good one, folks. I hope you enjoyed my man Steve. Real life consequences when you quit in the military, man. Stepped back into his command and got fired immediately as an infantry officer. He'll be all right. He'll get back on his feet. He's going to have 5 kids here shortly, man. But I wanted you to hear kind of that same semblance, man. Once you start quitting, that shit starts piling up. You start having some self-doubt. You lose some of your self-confidence. As always, we're building champions for life on this channel. And if you love it, smash the subscribe button. Well, if you love it, share it with your friends and smash the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that little bell so you can get some notifications when we drop some more boom fire. And as always,